Well, it's a vexed question in a free society. How far does freedom of speech extend? Is it absolute, or should people be stopped from peddling nonsense? The Islamic Society of South Australia wants religious vilification made illegal after the letterboxing in Adelaide of an anti-Muslim leaflet that has links to an American extremist religious group.
Allahu Akbar,
Dr. Waleed al-Khazraji fled the brutality and oppression of Saddam Hussein's Iraq in 1994. Adelaide is his home now, but he says for Muslims around Australia, their new homes can still sometimes feel hostile.
It does come in waves, I guess. Every time something happens either overseas or some media coverage for any issues, even internally, you get a wave of sentiments against the Muslim people or Islam as a religion.
Now the latest ripple of anti-Muslim propaganda has hit. It comes in the form of this leaflet, making inflammatory claims and showing derogatory cartoons of Muslims. It has a Muslim saying Christianity is a lie, that Muslims are bent on world domination, that one day soon there'll be a crescent moon flag flying over the White House, that Islam is bringing Britain to its knees, and it depicts Muslims as turban-wearing Arabs who worship a moon god.
It is about fear, and fear is one of the tools to get the people to increase their ignorance about any group, because if I fear from you, I will just stay away, and if any chance that I can attack, I will attack.
In the past few months, the leaflet has been distributed through parts of North Adelaide and Kent Town. It's the product of an American organisation called Chick Publishing, which is based in California. It's the creation of a recluse named Jack Chick, who's been at the religious publishing game for 50 years.
This stuff is incredibly offensive to Muslims, and he's certainly had a greatly increased output of anti-Muslim propaganda in the last 10 years, probably because of 9/11. But also, in general in the US, you've seen increased levels of anti-Muslim feeling after the election of Barack Obama.
David Smith says the Chick organisation has a similar DNA to other religious extremist groups, such as the Westboro Baptist Church, which is best known for picketing the funerals of US soldiers, who it says are evil defenders of a nation that embraces gays.
And I say, thank God for dead soldiers.
I'm sorry that they raised their son for the devil in hell. I'm sorry that they let him have anything to do with the army.
Like others of its ilk, at its core there's an outlandish conspiracy theory. Though David Smith says in Chick World, it's not the gays who are to blame for everything, it's not even the Muslims, it's the Catholics.
But actually he thinks that Islam was founded by the Vatican as part of a conspiracy to take people in the Middle East away from true Christianity. So his major enemy is the Catholic Church. He thinks that the Catholics created communism, created Nazism, started the Ku Klux Klan, is responsible for persecution of Jews. So is responsible for all the bad things that have ever happened in the world.
Adelaide is not the only place that Jack Chick leaflets have been spread. Earlier this year, they were letterboxed through the Canberra suburbs of Braddon, Kingston, Lyneham and Civic, as well as in nearby Queanbeyan. A complaint was made to the ACT Human Rights Commissioner, Dr Helen Watchers, who believes the timing of the pamphlets was deliberate.
In the ACT at the moment, it's particularly troublesome because we've got a development application for a new mosque. One was declined in 2010, and now there's been quite a movement of this kind of literature and secret meetings of communities trying to oppose the mosque.
No one has claimed responsibility for distributing the leaflets in either Adelaide or Canberra. Helen Watchers and David Smith doubt the Chick organisation has the capability to directly target Australia. They say it's more likely to be somebody acting locally. Helen Watchers believes the Canberra leaflets were sourced out of a Queensland bookshop. Leaflets seem old-fashioned these days, but David Smith argues they are a neat fit into the worldview of groups like Jack Chicks.
Even though they have some internet presence, they still prefer the old ways of distributing things by paper. And we have to remember that the real target audience for these organisations are people who actually distrust and disbelieve most things that they see or hear or read. They believe that schools and universities are all teaching lies, and yet they're prepared to really commit to something that they see in a leaflet that's been left somewhere. They think, wow, here's this hidden truth that's been suppressed that I've just stumbled upon by chance, which is a way that religious revelation has often happened throughout history. So I think there's a definite strategy involved to distributing things by paper.
Helen Watchers believes the pamphlets do vilify Muslims, but they do not break laws in either Canberra or Adelaide. That's because vilification on religious grounds is not included under local legislation. She says it is in Victoria and in Queensland, and that's a standard that needs to be adopted nationally.
We have a very diverse, vibrant and tolerant community, and I don't think we should have room for publications like this, and I am in favour of making them unlawful.
It's one of the most vexed debates in a society that values free speech. David Smith argues as offensive as the pamphlets are, making them illegal would be a mistake.
These laws can actually create a real sense of victimhood for the people who are propagating this material, and a real sense of martyrdom, and a sense that, you know, they're being fought against by the satanic state, and this is a sign that they're doing the right thing. So I think that these laws can actually create more problems than they solve.
The Rann government put out a discussion paper on anti-religious vilification laws a decade ago, but it shelved the idea after suspicion and a lack of interest from religious groups. Dr. Waleed Al-Khazraji says his community has always wanted such laws, and he says although one can never legislate against stupidity, it is about setting a standard.
I think it is important, and it is a call for the government here and the Parliament to look into it again, and maybe it is time to have something in place.